And we're off. Welcome to Espression, the show where we settle in, pour a cup, and see where the conversation takes us.
I'm Ishita, and I'm here with Alejandro. Whether you're on your morning commute or enjoying a brew of your own, we're glad you're at the table with us. Let's keep the coffee flowing and get into today's episode. Let's grab a coffee. How many life-altering connections have started with that simple but powerful proposition?
While most people see a cafe as a quick pit stop for a caffeine fix, for some of us, it's a sacred ritual of extraction, temperature, and technique.
It's about more than just the bean. It's about the third place, that essential community ground between work and home. For the second episode of Espression, we're diving deep into the craft with our guest, Luka. Luka's family runs a beloved pastry shop in the capital city of Tbilisi, Georgia. But Luka himself is a coffee purist. He has integrated a serious coffee program into the family business, ensuring that the brew is never an afterthought to the dough.
Together, we'll discuss why coffee is the heartbeat of social interaction, what it's like serving coffee in a traditional pastry environment, and the Tbilisi scene, the unique challenges of operating a coffee program in a bustling capital city.
Are these shops neutral grounds, date spots, study halls, or something more? So dial in your grinders, pour your shots, and let's get into it. Hello, welcome to Espression. Today, we have a special guest with us. His name is Luka Gorgoshidze, and he's here because his family owns a pastry shop and serves a lot of coffee. So Luka, do you want to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, hello to every listener or viewer, however you are guys showing this podcast. Yes, the last name you pronounced correctly. Yes, Gorgoshidze. And and yes, my family owns a pastry shop, and we do actually serve a lot of coffee. I'm a lawyer by profession, but yeah, my family owns a pastry shop, and I'm involved in there as well. And that's my brief profile about how I'm related to coffee. And I like just drinking coffee more than eating pastry. So I'm more of a coffee expert, self-proclaimed, than pastry expert.
So we're all self-proclaimed coffee experts here.
Yeah, Luka here is
Yes.
actually one of the things that bind us as friends as well is our love for coffee, and that's also why we decided to invite him for this episode 2 of Espression. So Luka, we did have a question just to get the ball rolling. Why did your family start a pastry shop? Like, what was the motivation behind it? How long have they operated for?
To be honest, there's no really like a cool reason behind it. It's just they just saw a market in that area. They just saw an opening, and they occupied the niche basically. They started with manufacturing. Actually, they did I think toys. Then they went to bread, and then they
Mm-hmm.
went to pastry. Yes. And yeah, there's no cool reason behind it. They just do it, and it can generate money basically, and they're completely fine with it. Yes.
Is there
That's a
anything
very
special
cool.
that makes anything different from that pastry shop that you would say this is defining factor comparing it to other pastry
Well,
shops?
well, I would say we've got the best pastry chef in Georgia,
Mm.
which is my cousin. He's the most famous one, so he's obviously the face of her pastry shop. And well, I would argue that we were pioneers in bringing European pastry style in Georgia. Like other people were also doing it, but on we start manufacturing it in terms of quantity. We were doing it in terms of quantity better than others. Uh, so we brought like pastries such as it's a pastry that looks like a lemon, for example, and I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
someone do something like that before. It literally looks like lemon, and we started doing that kind of stuff that just catches an eye.
That's very interesting. And When you talk about these pastries, and how popular is the coffee at your place as well? Is it something that people know you for, or is it something that people usually buy with a pastry? Like, what kind of trend do you see over there?
There are shops where coffee is number one and is their priority. But there are shops that coffee isn't their number one product. And we belong to the latter category, which is our coffee is not our number one product. I would say it's like a third, it's on the third place. The pastry is on the first one, it takes the first place. Then we do non-pastry stuff, for example, sandwiches. That can be an example, just like classic food. And the coffee is on the third place. So we're not famous for it. Yep, and as I said, pastry is number one, and that's our number one selling product.
And now moving to some, I don't know, more of a personal choice, just to like for listeners to get to know you better. What type of coffee do you like personally? Like, what do you usually go for?
There's not a particular one type of coffee. I used to like the coffee that tastes more acidic, that has an acidic taste. That's what
Hmm.
I usually preferred previously, but now I'm leaning towards more bitterness. I don't know, so the taste is
Mm.
changing constantly. I liked acidic more last time. Now I like bitterness more. But now I'm kind of switching to more a fruity taste for some reason.
Mm.
I'm guessing I like varieties of coffee, and I like to have my choices open.
Hmm. And what form of coffee do you usually go for? Like, what's your go-to drink?
Espresso, 100%. I used to do
Hmm.
Ishita, you do as well, the AeroPress. I started with
Hmm.
the AeroPress, and then I switched to espresso. And the go-to probably is going to be cappuccino.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what I
Yeah.
enjoy the most.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
talking
the
in the last
cappuccino is.
episode about both of our go-to drinks, and cappuccino was definitely on the top of the list.
Yeah.
So I guess we all agree on that. But so I had a question about your pastry shop and coffee. So you say coffee is sort of the third on the third position in terms of importance, right? So pastries.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Sorry.
So the pastry is the number one. Well, I'd call non-pastry
Uh
edible.
huh.
I don't know what to call basically. It's just food that's, for example, a
Oh,
Caesar
got it,
salad
got it.
or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just like a normal food like sandwich or I don't know, chicken nuggets or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But with
Okay.
coffee, well, I guess it's a question that goes in two ways. So from the coffee shop perspective, do you serve different kinds of coffee, or is it just like one standard cappuccino or latte or something? And also, do people like, is it known for that, or again, is coffee more of an add-on? As like you go for pastry and then you get a cappuccino.
Yeah, so the coffee is more like an add-on, and we're trying to target I would say the majority of people. What I mean by this is that we don't make a very specialty coffee that a coffee lover would enjoy. A person who likes coffee a lot is not probably going to pick our place because we're not focused on coffee that much. So a normal person who just wants to get who just wants to get coffee and doesn't really care about the intricacies or like taste notes that much. That kind of person is going to enjoy our place more than a person who likes to drink a very, very good quality coffee. And that type of people usually go to the specialty coffee places where they brew coffee themselves and they package the coffee themselves and they can offer you a different variety of coffee beans when you order. They can give you, okay, do you want Brazilian? Do you want, I don't know, Ethiopian coffee beans? We don't do that. We just have one type of coffee, and it's an addition to the pastry. So something that can go well with the pastry.
Hmm. Okay. And is it still something that customers prefer to usually always add on to their orders, or is it something that you see some customers buying it and not so much in others?
Yeah, they usually do because the coffee goes really well with the pastry.
Mm-hmm.
That's the yeah. That's I would argue that's the best drink that you can have with pastry. But
Yeah.
we don't want the coffee to overpower our our whatever we're offering to our customers. So as I said, pastry is number one, and coffee has to be like something that you can just have add on, but the focus has to be on pastry. The
Mm-hmm.
customers that come in our shop, they're looking for the pastry number. Yeah, that's the number one thing. Pastry like like desserts or even cakes. We do cakes like birthday cakes, we do wedding cakes, and so on. Yeah,
Okay.
we're not much focused on coffee, and if we're selling the coffee, it's meant for a general population who really doesn't care about a really good quality coffee,
Mm-hmm.
which is a small majority of the population, probably, including me, who likes to get a quality coffee. And like when I go to the coffee shop, I like a barista to tell me, hey, which kind of coffee beans would you like with it?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we can do like flat white. A lot of coffee shops, a lot of pastry shops don't do flat white because it's really hard to, get it correctly. And when the coffee shop nails the flat white, that's a really good indicator that they're really good at doing coffee. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the type of places I like to drink coffee at.
Ah, so you
And
like more of a
and
specialty coffee, like a place
yes.
that actually details where it comes from, how it's made, and gets you that control over your drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I like the type of places where I can buy their coffee, for example,
Oh
the
yeah.
ones that they
Mm-hmm.
use at their coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the places that really focus on coffee. And
Mm-hmm.
Their whole brand is about coffee. That's the type of coffee places I prefer. And to the contrary, the type of shop that we have is completely opposite from that. We just target mass population. We just target general population who just enjoys coffee but doesn't really care about the details about it.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're more of a coffee enthusiast, but of course you're involved with a pastry shop that sells other stuff, so you can get both sides.
Yeah,
The coffee enthusiast side is, oh, I want this drink to have this concentration, and also the more of a general population
yeah.
side.
So I kind of understand what general population likes, and I kind of understand what
Hmm.
a um, a coffee self-proclaimed coffee expert
Yeah, well,
would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Good. So that was a very interesting introduction to Luca's pastry shop, or your family's pastry shop, rather, but you're definitely pretty involved in it, from what I can tell. We'll be right back with Espression. So, welcome to this break. This section is called Spill the Beans. In this section, we will talk about a memorable experience that happened in relation to the topic that we're talking about. In this case, Luca, can you talk about a memorable experience that happened in a coffee shop or your pastry shop?
Yeah, so it happens all the time when people are ordering coffee, which is they actually don't know what they're never right about the coffee. So there's a popular saying that client is always right, but it's
Yeah.
actually not that correct. If we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
specialty coffee, and if we're talking about the coffee shops that specialize and they specialize on quality and yeah, in that case, client is never right because clients do not know what good coffee actually tastes like. So I'll give you a very brief example. So we have a lot of clients who say they want coffee that is hot, which is boiling hot. They
Hmm.
usually ask the barista, "Hey, give me a coffee that is literally boiling. I want to see steam coming out of it."
Boiling.
And yeah, boiling coffee, and they usually complain about it when we don't give a boiling coffee when it's a bit warm, not hot, warm. They complain about it, but the whole idea behind it is that the coffee, if you want a good coffee, it should not be boiling. It should be warm. It should have a warm temperature. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that's how you're making a coffee. And I see it all the time in my pastry shops, in my pastry shop, which is very memorable because a lot of people make that mistake when they are ordering a hot coffee. coffee is not supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be warm because you need to enjoy. Your palate enjoys warm drink more than something that can burn you.
And
So
why do you think
that's
they order
very
that though? Why do you think they want boiling hot?
because client is never right. That's what I mean. Like they want, they think that boiling coffee is better, but it's not. I think it's like an American influence because if you go in McDonald's or if you go, and I don't know, probably McDonald's is going to be a good example. They usually give you a coffee that is literally boiling. And there's been a lot of coming from my legal side. There's been a lot of not a lot of. There was one famous accident that happened. One person ordered, I think it was in McDonald's. Somebody can double check me on that. I think it was in McDonald's. A person ordered coffee, and they actually accidentally spilled the coffee on themselves,
Oh yeah,
and they
that's happened
burned
to
their
me.
leg.
Yeah.
So that person, yeah, so they spilled the coffee on themselves and they got third-degree burn. That's how the
Oh.
hot the coffee was. And I think it was McDonald's, but I'm not 100% sure about it, but it was something like it was a uh,
A case.
fast food chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, now if you go to a popular fast food chain, for example, every single coffee cup has a warning label on it.
Oh yeah.
That says be careful. Yeah, be careful. It's hot. The drink is hot. And I think, well, the reason why I brought this story is that I think the hot coffee culture is coming from US
Oh.
rather than from, yeah, that's I think where people are drinking literally hot coffee.
So
But
Americans
if you
like
look at
hot
the,
coffee.
yeah, I think so. That's what I would argue,
Okay.
yes. But if you look at the Europeans, Italians more specifically, well, they don't drink hot coffee. What they drink
Mm.
is warm, not hot.
All right, that was it for this break. And it's called Spill the Beans, yes. It's a pun on like spill the tea. All right, welcome back to Espression. Now we're going to move on to this concept called the third place. So there's different places. One of those is coffee shops that some people call the third place. What we mean by that is that there's your home where you live, there's your workplace where you work, you do something. But then there's also these other spaces that are popping up. One of those is coffee shops, one of those is co-working spaces, all of these sort of more leisurely open spaces or closed spaces that allow you to do things that aren't necessarily living or working. And Luka, we had, I don't know if you've reflected on this, but your pastry shop also would count as a third place. Like what, how do you think that a pastry shop would be that third place for many people? Do you see it every day?
So I kind of get what you mean by that because a coffee shop can definitely be a third place, but not in Georgia, I would argue. Because for
Mm.
Georgians, this is where we have pastry shop, and this is where I live, where I come from. Coffee shop is not a third place where people would usually go after work or where people usually go outside their home. Um, because we like restaurants and we like to feast. We like to sit around the table and drink wine and beer. And coffee is not our priority. We don't really focus on coffee because we like drinking alcohol.
Oh.
But I kind of get what you mean when you say third place because it can be a third place in a lot of European countries or in American culture. Uh, because it's a really good place to gather and just drink coffee with your friends and just socialize and have fun. And it can be a third place for a lot of people, especially for people from Europe and US. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about it because coming from Georgia, we don't look at it that way, but maybe you guys do see it as a third place. Yeah.
So that's a very interesting perspective because I think when we were, talking about coffee shops as a third place. We never considered it being it holding a different meaning in different places as well, and how the culture impacts that definition of that place. So, in terms of that, would you say that Georgians have a different kind of third place, or there is no concept of a third place?
So we do have a concept of third place, but it's not associated with coffee shops or coffee. It's more associated with drinking wine and
Right.
sitting around the table and drinking wine. That's our
Mm,
third place, yeah, or like restaurant or bar.
So it's restaurant or
right.
bar. It's
Yeah.
in addition to like drinking at home, or where is it more common to drink wine? Is my question. Like, is there a specific place that people gather just for wine, or is it in these just public spaces that also serve wine?
Yeah, well, you can go to the restaurant obviously, but you can do it at home as well. If you're very close to a person, then you would definitely invite that person at home and drink wine there. Uh, but obviously you can go to the restaurant as well. Previously, I would say, and when I say previously, I mean in 1990s, I would say people usually drank at home because they didn't have money to go to the restaurants. But now the restaurants start becoming popular, and people go there to drink wine as well.
Think that's very similar to the concept of coffee as well, because nowadays it's so common for people to grab a coffee from a coffee shop instead of making their own. Like, it's a whole routine. Like, people leave early before going to work because they want to grab their coffee from their favorite place. Could be a Starbucks, or a popular coffee chain, or it could be a local coffee shop. But that's also something that has changed in time, in terms of both coffee and wine, and the whole concept of the third place, I think. Yeah, that's what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely dependent on culture. I would say, for example, I'm not coming from Asia or something, but I would assume that in India, for example, or in China, uh, it's the third place is going to be a place where they serve tea, for example. I don't
Hmm.
know. Yeah, the tea is going to be the number one drink there instead of coffee. Just like in Georgia, number one drink is wine. Uh, uh, but yeah, so that's what we do. That's what I associate with the third place. And I would say in China, for example, or in India as well, people where they drink tea, that would be a place, the third place. But I'm assuming I'm not coming
Hmm.
from there. So, Ishida, you can be a really good example about that. And yeah, about the
Yeah.
Indian culture around it. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, we actually spoke about this earlier as well. That India, the northern part of India, is still very heavily, a tea drinking population. But anyways, moving on. So, in terms of the pastry shop, so you said that it's not as much as a third place as a bar or a wine shop or a restaurant would be. So, what other reasons are there that people come into the pastry shop? Is it, now you've told us about the amazing pastries that you sell, but is there also, like, people come to socialize or to work, or anything else that the space is used for?
No, yeah, the space is not usually used for working or socializing. They just it's not like Starbucks that you see where
Mm-hmm.
people work for hours and hours. No, that's not. We don't do that basically. We're trying to we're a place where you come, you get pastry, you get dessert, or you take a cake and you just leave. You can sit there obviously and you can enjoy a dessert there. We do have tables to sit, but majority just grabs the cake for example. They're going to the birthday party for example, and they want to take something to the birthday party, and they grab a pastry, a desserts, like a bunch of desserts, or they're having a birthday party and they just want a cake that they they would like to take, and yeah, they just come in, get what they want, and then they leave. Yeah, that's I would say like 80% of customers. Yeah,
Hmm.
That's more of a
Okay.
grab and go kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people just order cakes for their weddings, for example, and they never actually interact with the uh, with the with the building itself. Uh, they just order it, we deliver it for their wedding, and that's how we interact.
What is the most
Mm.
popular type of pastry? I mean, you mentioned one that looked like a lemon.
Yeah,
Do you think people
yeah.
choose mostly based on like the appearance of the pastry, or is there something else that you think might be influencing, like why some of them might be more popular?
Well, the appearance plays a big role, obviously. If the first thing that you s- what- that you when you look at something, the first indicator that something is good or bad is whether it looks good or not. And visual effects play a big role. And the lemon is a good example because it looks stunning when you're looking at it. But taste-wise, it has a very specific taste. Like it tastes like lemon, so it's like acidic, and a person who doesn't like acidic taste might not enjoy it that much. So a person who would buy a lemon, for example, has to like acidic stuff particularly,
Lemons.
and yeah, like lemons or like citrus in general. Yeah, yeah. So visually, something might look really good. But taste-wise, you might not like it because that's not something you enjoy, because you like more, I don't know, sweet stuff more than acidic stuff.
Yeah, in general, I find it really interesting how culture changes perspectives. Because I think for us as well, like we are in three different parts of the world, almost three different corners of the world. And I would say that here in Costa Rica, at least, coffee shops are definitely seen as and increasingly as these third places, as places where people just sit for hours and some of them work, some of them just talk or meet up. And I think like it didn't used to be the case. Mostly when we talk about coffee, it was there's coffee at home. But lately, I've seen more and more of these coffee focused places or pastry focused places as well, because there's also that combination, as you said. Like you usually you go to one of these places and you just don't have one drink; you have something to accompany it. So there's different. I've seen that there's two ways of doing it. So there's these places that focus on really good pastries and have a coffee on the side, which I think is like where your pastry shop falls into. And then there's these specialty coffee places that just happen to have pastries to them. But we definitely do have or have seen an increase in that sort of coffee shops as a third place. So yeah, that's also another interesting difference between places of the world.
Hmm.
How about you, Ishita? Like,
Yeah,
do you
I
think it's
think.
also the case in India?
Yeah, I think it's a concept that's very new in India, but it is definitely catching on quite fast. I think the whole concept of meeting outside the home where it's still comfortable enough for you to sort of, unwind, catch up with a friend, get your caffeine boost. I think for that specific purpose, um, coffee shops and even pastry shops are becoming more and more popular, and I think coffee and pastry is also a great way to unwind for a lot of people and have a chat. It's not a meal, it's not nothing. It's the sweet spot, literally.
All right, that was a very good introduction to the third place and the differences in how this shows up between different places and different cultures in different countries. We'll be right back with Espression. Okay, so welcome to our break. This break is called Split Shot. In this section, I will tell two different options to our guest, Luka. And Luka, you have to choose one quickly and justify why you choose it. So I think this is going to be a good lawyer exercise for you. So the first split shot is hot versus iced, and why?
hot always, because I'm gonna say something controversial. But hot because in cold weather, hot just makes you warmer, and it's really good to enjoy. And it actually in hot and warmer weather as well, you want to drink hot drinks because hot drink actually I think we've talked about it. I think I mentioned it a couple of months ago, or like a couple of like a year ago when we were talking about
Hmm.
it. But it actually if you want to make yourself not feel that hot and warm, you want to drink warm drinks because it elevates your body temperature and you start to sweat more. And if you
Mm-hmm.
start to sweat more, so your body temperature actually goes lower. So it doesn't matter if it's cold weather or hot weather, you always want to drink hot drinks. So in this case, hot coffee,
Okay.
but not boiling
Okay.
hot. It needs to be warm. Yes, we're not
Warm.
supposed to.
Not
It
boiling
has
hot,
to
yeah.
taste. It has to taste. No, not boiling hot. No, no, no. It has to taste good as well. So yeah.
Okay. Ishita, do you want to do the second one?
Yeah. So in terms of where you enjoy your coffee, would you prefer a bar seat or a table, and why?
To be not none of those. To be honest with you, I'll give you the third option that I would enjoy is a place that gives me coffee really quick. That's the type of place that I enjoy. I want espresso really quick. I'm just going to take one or two sh sips and I'm out of there because
Mm.
yeah, that I enjoy coffee, not the coffee shop itself.
Uh,
That's the type of person. I go to the coffee shop because they have coffee, not because of the environment that they're offering. Well, it plays a big role, obviously. If you're going with friends and you have to sit there and talk and chit chat about something, then yes, environment plays a
Hmm.
big role, and I would prefer a quiet place, more quieter place, because you get to talk between one another. But if I just want a quality coffee, I'm going in, I'm ordering coffee, and then I'm out instantly.
Okay.
so basically, between bar seat and table seat, the answer for you is no seat.
No seat.
No seat.
Yeah.
Yes, I want
Okay.
something that is quick and I'm out of there. Yes.
Hmm.
Good. Well, the third split shot is, and I think you almost you gave a little hint as to this answer: quiet playlist or lively vibe, and why?
Yeah, quiet one. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, quiet one because we get to talk about. If I'm going with friends, we get to talk about something and we actually can hear one another. Uh, but yeah. Other than that, yes, that's the main reason. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, no, sorry, there was one more, but I think, yeah, you already answered it, which was sit down or take away. But that's the thing
Takeaway,
again. So
100%
take
always. Yeah.
away, but you said that you would have it there. You just wouldn't sit down. You just have it inside the coffee shop, leave it, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so well, yeah. I enjoyed I think Italians do it as well. That's their uh, way of drinking coffee. And when I was in Italy and when I was moving from one city to another, what they have on the highway is that they have a lot of gas stations, petrol stations, and in the gas stations you can just order a really good quality espresso. And what you
Oh.
do is when you're traveling is you stop at a gas station. You don't even need to fill the gas. You just stop at the gas station. You go in the building there. You order espresso. You take one or two shots, and you're out. And that's what I enjoy.
Mm, got it. So
Hmm.
Italian speed drinking.
Italian speed drinking.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that was it for this break. Then we will be right back with Espression.
Welcome back to Espression. We are now going to move on to talking about how a coffee shop is operated or a pastry shop is operated because we have our guest here who is very much involved with this pastry shop. So, Luca, could you tell us a little bit about what are the busiest hours of your pastry shop?
Uh, it probably is going to be when people are having a break, and that's usually happens from 12 to 3, I guess. That's going to be the most busy hours. That's when people have break from their work, and that's when they come in and just eat pastry and just have a meal, and that's when they drink coffee as well. So those are the busy, and also when people are going back home and they want to grab something to take to their home, and that's also busy times. I would say it's after 7 or 8, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I always need a sweet treat in between of work, especially those lunchtime hours. That's right. And so you said that coffee, even though it's more of an add-on to your pastries, where do you source the coffee for your pastry shop?
Where do we source from? We import it from Italy, and it's a very specific type of coffee. Again, we're not focusing on serving a really, really good high quality coffee. We're just serving a coffee that is meant for general population, and the coffee beans that we use reflects that. And the type of coffee that we're getting, and we're importing from Italy. Yeah, so well, we're getting a blend of Arabica basically. That's the type
Okay.
of coffee that we're, yeah. So it's not one type of Arabica coming from one plantation. We're getting a different blend of Arabicas coming from different plantations, and which is and it makes it cheaper for the customer because it's not one type of Arabica. But if you go to the specialty coffee places, they would normally serve you a coffee that is coming from one place. They're sourcing a coffee from one very particular place.
Which is the ones that you mentioned you like going to, where they tell you,
Uh,
like,
what do you?
we source it from this specific place. Like, you like visiting those places.
Oh yeah. That's the type of place I like to visit because they actually like tell you like we're getting coffee from this place, and this is how it is processed. This is how it's roasted, and they if you ask them like they can tell you like the whole process of what how this coffee bean was made. But we as again we're not that type of coffee
Yeah.
place. We just serve yeah.
We do have a question, though, which, because I would imagine that when you run a pastry shop, and you mentioned a little bit of this, like, in your case, you want speed. You want to go to a place and you want to get a drink quickly, get in, get out. And there's different kinds of customers, of course, but as a pastry shop operator, someone who's behind the operating machines, how do you balance this speed versus quality? Like, what's your perspective from someone who's behind the scenes?
Speed and quality doesn't go against one another. If that's what you meant, so speed and quality actually go well together. If you give me coffee really quickly, uh, well, if you want to make coffee, it just takes a couple of seconds to do it, or like a minute just to do the whole thing. Because when you're making espresso, it's really quick, and if speed and quality, I would say go together. If that's what you were asking, if I got your question correctly.
Yeah, because you would imagine that when something's done really quickly, then you don't have that same control. But in your case, you see it as a two. That's a problem that can be attacked in both ways at the same time, both and.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you're making coffee, like when you pour the shot of espresso and you're also getting the milk ready, you're steaming the milk, you have to do them quickly. You have to do them almost simultaneously, because if you let the milk sit there, for example, and you're not gonna pour the milk into the cup right away, you know, it doesn't taste that well. And if you look at professional baristas, they're always swirling the pitcher, and they're always doing they're making coffee as quick as possible. Just couple of minutes. It's just minute, yeah, under a minute, basically. Let's say, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of related to another question, which is what makes a good barista, or in this case, well, I mean, in your case, you're the employees have to be trained in also serving the pastries, and I would imagine there's also the presentation aspect of it, which in your case, like, because you're serving these really nice pastries, then what are the qualities that you think an employee or a barista would need to have in order to work well at your pastry shop?
Just willingness to learn and eagerness to learn. We're not expecting our employees to know how to make coffee. We're going to teach them how to make coffee. And we really don't care if they, well, it's good to know how to make coffee, but it's not an issue because we can teach them how to make coffee. And there's the biggest quality is just if they want to learn or not. And if they want to learn, obviously we can teach them, and they're gonna make a great quality coffee.
That's very nice. Yeah, I would like to work there if that's possible. Speaking of hiring baristas and staff and thinking about speed and quality of the products that you're serving, are there any other challenges that you face in running a pastry shop? Would you like to share some of them?
Yeah, the human aspect. It's the employees. Obviously, like
It's always the employees.
employees are the not. Yeah, it's always the employees. Yes. So if you want to make a good quality coffee, yeah, machine is obviously an influencing factor, but it's not the machine itself. It's the barista who is brewing, who's making the coffee, and if the and it's always. Uh, well, employees come and go all the time. So in our pastry shop, not every employee is staying there for a long time. And while we have an issue, the issue that comes with this is that we have to teach them constantly. We have to teach every single newcomer basically how to make a coffee, and uh, it's not the easiest thing to do, and when a person doesn't know how to make a coffee well, that becomes a problem. So there's the problem. What I mean is the human aspect of it and the employee aspect of it. Uh, well, if there were machines that would be doing the coffee, I think it would be less problematic. But yeah, we're far from there, right? Yeah, we're far from that. Yeah, so that's an issue. It's the
And you
employees.
mentioned machines as well. I'm curious now, like, what is the most important piece of tech, a machine, like something that you think it's indispensable to the shop?
Well, again, it's the employee. It's the most. It's not the machine. It's the employee. It's the biggest resource that you have, but it's also the most problematic resource that you have. So you can give a crappy machine to a really good barista, and they can make really good coffee out of it.
Ah,
But you can
okay.
give a coffee machine that's like top-notch coffee machine, and you can give it to the crappy barista, and yeah, the coffee machine is not going to change anything basically.
Wow,
It's
okay.
the person behind the coffee machine. Yeah.
So, as a final question, what would be your one advice that you would give to someone who says, I want to open a pastry shop or a coffee shop? Like, what is the most important sort of, you should always keep this in your head kind of advice?
Invest in your employees. That's the number one, yes.
What do you mean by that?
Make sure your employees know how to make coffee and know what coffee is and how coffee is made and what coffee beans do and what happens to the milk when you steam it, and yeah, all the details about it. So you want to have an employee that actually knows ins and outs of coffee making.
Okay.
So not just operating the machine,
Yeah.
yeah, but also knowing their coffee.
Yeah, so make sure you teach them what the coffee is made, what the coffee is, and how the coffee is made.
Okay, then that brings us to the end of our episode today. Thank you very much, Luka, for joining us and sharing all your insights about your pastry shop. And the next time I'm in Georgia, I am definitely going to have the lemon pastry And something else
Okay.
as well.
For sure. Just as a
You're more than welcome.
final thing, though, what is the name of your pastry shop? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have any
Yes.
social media, the plug-in that you want to share?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do have. It's called Marron with double R.
Marron.
Yes,
How do you spell that?
yes. It's Marron.
Okay. Marron. And you can find you on Instagram as Marron
Yeah.
Pastry Shop.
Marron Pastry. Yes, at Marron Pastry. Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, that's it for this episode of Espression. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.
To wrap up today's blend, we've reached the crema, that rich final layer where we distill everything we've learned from our guest Luka.
We explore the unique world of Marron pastry in Georgia, where the visually stunning lemon pastry takes center stage while coffee plays a supporting yet essential role.
Luka reminded us that while high-tech machines are great, the true secret to a perfect cup is the human element, the barista's skill and passion.
Whether you're a self-proclaimed expert chasing acidic notes or someone who just wants a warm, quick espresso to go, the connection between a sweet treat and a good brew remains a universal delight.
Until the next cup, stay curious about your beans and kind to your baristas.